a warm welcome to another edition of To The Point. On the show this week, HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar. Welcome, sir, on To The Point.
Yeah.
So, the occasion of 70 years of independence, we are entering the 71st year of independence. Are we free in the real sense?
Yeah, we are free to a great extent. In a way, we have achieved many milestones in last 70 years. And as our Prime Minister is always generous and always says that we have achieved is total of efforts of all the previous governments together. But now there is a focus. And now we know what remains to be done. So as far as education is concerned, we know that education expansion was not, the Britishers were not keen to teach every Indian. They wanted to create their own babudam, for them the rules. Now we have expanded 98% enrollment, but now quality is the issue. So, sabko shiksha, achhi shiksha. That's our slogan. So, there are many areas where we have achieved something, but our potential is much more, and that's what Prime Minister is harping upon. He is making people participate in governance.
But if you look at Prime Minister Modi's Independence Day speech, and I'll quote him exactly what he said that let's come together and create an India which is free of corruption, nepotism, casteism, communalism and terrorism, and let us build a country which is clean, healthy and is self-determined.
Yes.
At the same time, he's also given a threshold year of 2022. He's saying that that's a year when we feel that a new India will emerge.
Therefore, he is taking people along and giving them a target. Like he says, 75 years of Quit India movement, that is 2017, and now 75 years of independence, that is 2022. So these 5 years is Sankalp se Siddhi tak, from pledge to achievement. And what are those things? He has highlighted those very clearly. Freedom from corruption, freedom from filthiness, dirt, uncleanliness, freedom from terrorism, freedom from poverty, freedom from casteism, communalism, and freedom from corruption. I think he has highlighted targets. He is goal setter, and he has set goal for the country very vividly, and these are national goals. I think he is continuously creating, even while speaking in Parliament, he said, there are certain issues where we need not be indulging in politics. So there are national agenda, and he has put national agenda before the nation.
But when Prime Minister gives this aspirational dream for the entire country for 2022, at the same time you have opposition voices like Mr. Anand Sharma, who today said that the unfinished task is still there, which has not been even completed since the last 70 years. Why are we talking of 2022? How would you really silence these voices?
No, because there is nothing to be silenced about. We must, low aim is crime. So we are putting up a high aim, which is good. That's why you excel. If you put a very mild target, then there is your efforts will be much less than what you can. And therefore, to excel in your efforts and to fulfill a concrete dream, and this is not impossible. So getting freedom, and he again once again struck a very important issue, that the young generation, he believes in that young generation to be the part of the whole change story. Therefore, he said that the new millennium voters for 21st centuries, those who are born in year 2000, will become voters in 2018. So, he is focusing them that all the youths has a role to transform the country from a non-tax compliant society to a tax compliant society, from a caste society to a less caste society, from an unclean society to a clean society, from a corruption-laden society to a corruption-free society. So that's how, with systemic change, with technology, and with huge participation of people, and particularly youth, he wants to make that transformation happen.
There is no doubt about the intentions of the government and the way Prime Minister Modi has been talking about encouraging the youths, taking the country forward towards a new India. But at the same time, there are a lot of challenges which are faced by the government. Talking about one challenge in particular is unemployment. How does the government really work on this particular challenge? Because whatever reports which have come so far, for example, the World Employment and Social Outlook report, and the way we have seen the slumping in the manufacturing sector, layoffs in the IT sector.
There is no real layoff in IT sectors. IT sector has a peculiar situation where they retrench some people, retrain some people and recruit many more people. So it's a normal cycle of IT industry. It's a peculiar industry. As far as the slump or the manufacturing sector is concerned, our growth is in service sector. We ourselves is a great nation with greater demand, with more prosperity, and therefore with 7% growth constantly achieved, we are a growing economy, and therefore there is an internal generation of demand. To fulfill that demand, you have to create people around for all kinds of services, and that's what is on, and there are tens of millions of jobs created in last 3 years.
Prime Minister Modi also said that let's make India into a nation of job creators and not job seekers. How would you really put this statement into perspective?
Because he wants to bring society out of the entire mindset of government jobs.
Okay.
So he wants to say that you are capable to provide jobs to others. So Mudra, he mentioned today also twice that Mudra is a 4 lakh crore pumped into 7 lakh crore hands with amount without guarantee, and that they have given to create new employment opportunities, and the people have created. People have expanded their own small businesses, and that's the way forward, because government jobs will always be very small, minuscule, and the organized sector job profile is changing. And therefore, the jobs will be created in service sector and in agriculture also with, and he emphasized with water irrigation, Prime Minister irrigation scheme. That is very important. And so, he is creating jobs in all fields.
We have seen that opposition has always targeted the present government, saying that they are not paying attention much to the job creations, and they are actually shepherding the country towards becoming a breeding ground for anger and frustration.
No. Actually, it's exactly an opposite situation. The opposition parties have lost the plot. They have lost the connect to the ground, and therefore, what they are missing is the real action which is happening over the grounds, because when India is becoming digital, millions of jobs are created in digital India. When Make in India happens, you are creating millions of jobs in all kinds of services and small businesses. Then SME's growth is a real growth story, and which is employing very fast people. If Khadi, for instance, is becoming a 50,000 crore conglomerate in a way, it is creating jobs for millions. So, everything is changing around, and therefore, jobs in all sectors are increasing actually.
If you look at
the McKinsey report has come in, and it's very right. They have pointed out in which sectors these jobs are created, and in each sector, when you have 118 crore Aadhaar, that is also part of Digital India, that creates jobs, millions of jobs in that. When you have 23 crore Jan Dhan account, there is a complete new economy
around apparently is not taking into consideration all these
they have lost touch to the ground. They are not taking into account. They are only concentrating on government jobs, which is not correct.
If you look at the journey in the past 70 years, talking about the cultural and cultural and the religious differences, do you agree with what opposition keeps always harping on the fact that it has somewhere down the line impacted the moral fiber of the democracy? Do you also feel so? You've seen country growing over the years. Do you really feel that the democratic, the fiber of the country has been impacted?
No, democratic fiber has become strong. Now people are choosing their rulers with much caution, and they are changing. Wherever elections are happening, it's a voters who is the king, and they are deciding on their perception, on the merit of the thing. They want progress. Now they don't want to practice the old politics of caste, creed, communalism. They are not interested in that. They are interested in progress, and therefore they are trusting Modi's leadership. See, greatest asset of our government or party even is the credibility of the Prime Minister, which he has earned in the hearts of all citizens of countrymen. That's the real thing.
But opposition also keeps harping on the fact that, the plurality of the country is in danger. They'll say that one is not free to eat what they want, one is not free to wear what they want.
We have made it very clear that food is a personal choice. But law of the land applies. And law of the land was not made by BJP, but right from Mahatma Gandhi's days. And so, law of the land is a law of the land. And therefore, that we have made very umpteen time clear. And today, even in Independence Day speech, Prime Minister has very clearly said that आस्था के नाम पर कोई हिंसा करे वो बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं है. तो ये we are a tolerant society. What is India's ethos? India's ethos is that it doesn't conquer. It has never conquered any country. Though it has spread in many countries, it has many trade. They started trade in those countries, but they never conquered any country. They never imposed their faith on anybody. We don't impose. That's not our culture. And therefore, that tolerance is the Indian ethos. Nobody should come from outside and teach us about tolerance. Tolerance is our ethos.
In fact, I was coming to that Prime Minister's statement, which he said that we cannot tolerate violence in the name of faith. Yeah. But I think a large section of the society has apparently not understood what the cow protection groups are doing in the country. They have been tarnished with a black paint, it seems.
See, no, I am very clear on this, that see, even a single incidence is bad. So I am not justifying. But even single incidence is bad. But having said that, let me again tell you, in this vast country, some incidences happen, but there are other incidences of lynching. Like 84 Sikh riot, it was not riot, it was lynching of 3,006 innocent Sikhs in 3 days in the very capital city. Then in Godhra, what happened to that car sevaks returning and the whole bogie was burnt, that was lynching. Then there was lynching of in 2012, 2013, 2011, every year 15 to 20 incidences and 15 to 20 deaths. Every year it has happened. We were not ruling that time. So you can't blow out of proportion but every death is condemnable. And we condemn each death. And therefore, Prime Minister has given strictest warning.
But Mr. Javadekar, 70 years down the line, do we really need a new definition of nationalism and patriotism currently?
No, nationalism is in each country's veins. Every country, people are patriotic about their country and it's natural. So is our country. And so nobody is teaching anybody patriotism. Nobody is teaching. Nobody is imposing. But everybody is patriotism and people are expressing their patriotism through various methods. And that's good, survives.
What I don't understand is that if you look at the political narrative of the country, the way it evolves, the moment Prime Minister Narendra Modi says something, opposition will come down heavily saying that, look, there is polarization through patriotism, there is polarization through nationalism, and that is the kind of political narrative which evolves.
It's actually unifying. It's not dividing the country. It's unifying the country. And therefore, come out of that Rajya Sabha narrative, Rajya Sabha TV narrative, and then you will really find a world which is much plain and simple.
Talking about the journey of the last 70 years as far as sanitation goes, of course, there has been a domestic and a global buzz if you talk about the Swachh Bharat campaign. But what are the biggest challenges if you really want to make the country open defecation free?
But that is happening and now people are participating. I was last month in Orissa and there were more than 10,000 tribal girls in a hostel and I talked to all of them that have you gone back to your home in the vacation? Yes. How many have convinced their parents to have toilet in their house? And there were thousands, hands raised, and I heard at least 20 stories of them. So it has become a people's movement. See, my whistle badge has become a symbol of that movement. Students from all ages get up early in the morning at 4 o'clock, take whistle and then blow whistle when they find somebody defecating in open. So they are creating an atmosphere, they are creating the pressure, and therefore it's not only Amitabh Bachchan creating the pressure in advertisement, it's actually happening on ground. Therefore 160 lakh, nearly 1/4 and more villages have become open defecation free. That's a real success.
But there is no two ways about the fact that a good sanitation is always becomes a foundation for a good and robust health system.
See, we have to clean our water, we have to clean our air, we have to clean our environment by having proper waste management. Now we have put, I was environment minister, we have put in place waste management rules, we have put emission rules in place, and so we are ensuring that there will be cleanliness. But after all, cleanliness is a mindset change also. We are individually clean, but publicly we are not that clean. Now he changing the mindset to become publicly also a clean country.
But don't you think that that is the most difficult job, changing the mindset of the people?
That's the challenge, and that's what he likes to take. That's what he likes to take. He changing. See, for a popular political, to play popular politics, you don't ask any mindset change and people will always be happy. But he is asking difficult things to be done and people are participating.
But despite all the drive on cleanliness, we still see some dark corners in the country, like what has just happened in Gorakhpur, Japanese encephalitis, where children are dying.
See, 1 minute. Health, we were nowhere in the world's map. We have achieved too much. But still, there is much to be desired in many states, the precarious health conditions. If the statistics which was given for year after year, 600 children are dying in this month because of this particular illness, then that's a great cause of, there should have been a proper study, research and answers, and we must have worked out a plan. Now we are working out.
Coming to the journey of education in the last 70 years, as an HRD minister, are you in a position to say that today each and every child in the country is able to go to school freely?
Yeah, now he is going to school, but now my challenge is to make quality of government schools much better. Because the casualty of right to education was the quality of government schooling. Because many schools became just midday meal schools, Ana, Khana, Jana. Instead, we want to make it a real school, and we are taking tremendous efforts. Now we have come out with learning outcomes. So the whole stress was earlier only on inputs, the infrastructure. We are now giving more emphasis on learning outcomes. So learning outcomes are there. Every parent will get this within next 1 month, the pamphlet that if your child is in 4th standard, what he must be able to solve, what he must get the knowledge out of this year. And therefore, everybody will be made accountable, teachers, students, parents, schools. So all will become responsible. Second, we have, the parliament has, we have introduced the bill in parliament to change the no detention policy and bring in examination at 5th and 8th. And there will be 2 chances given to the students, March and then in May. If those who fail will get another chance in May. But those students who fail even there will be detained.
For the second time, if they fail,
for the second time, they will be detained. Okay. So that will bring in more accountability. Then we are revamping the whole teacher education. Now the bill has been passed in both the parliaments that there were 11 lakh teachers in primary schools where they were untrained, they were not B.Ed. So we are giving training through Swayam and Swayam Prabha, offline and online, training to 11 lakh teachers within next 2 years, and we will have all 11 lakh B.Ed. Those who will do study, they will get results, and those who won't will lose their jobs.
So is there a way how you will do appraisals of the teachers?
Yes, it's a regular examination by NIOS. It will be regular examination, but the lessons, the lecture, tutorial, material, the midterm exam, all will be done on these things. In higher education also, we have done 2 major bills. This year, Parliament has passed IIM bill, which means giving complete autonomy to Indian Institute of Management, because I believe, Prime Minister believes that unless we try and start trusting our best brains, whom you will trust otherwise? Regulation is not the answer. Answer is giving freedom for even children as a parent. Unless you give them freedom and trust them, they won't grow to their natural optimum scale. And therefore, we are giving complete freedom to, and we are creating 20 world-class universities. These 20 world-class universities, 10 in private sector, 10 in public sector, will create a new atmosphere in higher education where research and innovation will be the keywords, and where freedom they will get. And we are also reforming UGC to give graded autonomy. So these are n number of good initiatives in education sector. The essence in schooling is to improve the quality, and in higher education it is improve the research and innovation, so India becomes sustainably prosperous.
But when you talk about research, innovation, upgradation, of course, a lot of money is needed.
Yes.
And people generally talk that, education is never given a priority in terms of fund allocation.
No, but now we are given.
Okay.
I am very happy that nearly 5% of GDP is already given to education, and we are also creating out of budget sources. That is
what
now
are
higher,
they like, sir?
that is Higher Education Finance Agency.
Okay.
Where the budget is giving just 2,000 crore rupees, but in debt instruments from market we will leverage through these 2,000 crore, 20,000 crore rupees, and put in. It has started application, and the applications we are processing now. We will sanction first loan in next month, and therefore we will have 20,000 crores push in to create better research infrastructure, better our educational infrastructure, so that the quality grows, the research and innovation grows, incubation centers grows, research park grows. So all these we will fund now.
It's the 7th year of the implementation of the Right to Education Act, but still there are many, some schools in villages which are here and there in some corners they will be found to flout the rules. So do you have a kind of a penalty system for these kind of schools which are...
We are, instead of penalty, we are incentivizing good schools and good practices. We want to motivate teachers. We want to put on them a responsibility of making their school better, giving them a competitive atmosphere to make their schools better. Therefore, I organized 5 Shikshan Manthans in which good teachers were called, good headmasters were called, those who have transformed their schools, and now go wherever there are good efforts in Andhra, in Telangana, in Maharashtra, in Rajasthan, the government school, their people, students are returning from private schools to government school, back to government schools. So that's how there has to be a healthy competition.
But Mr. Javadekar, I can't help but ask you a question which I think all the mothers of the country would want to ask. What about the exorbitantly high fees which are charged by the public schools?
Therefore, no, public school is...
60,000 a trimester.
No, but I'll tell you. See, this is again, I want to make, my answer is very simple. I want to make my government school best, and within the next 2-3 years, you will see a dramatic change happening in our government schooling. So, any poor person need not invest any money into education. They can definitely safely send their children in government schools. That's first. Second, as far as the government school in private is concerned, we don't want to regulate from our side. What we want to do is issue and guidelines where we are saying that there should be complete disclosure of your balance sheet and income and expenditure account. Then fees should not rise arbitrarily. There can be CPI, whatever inflation rate plus 2 or 3% every year increase, and there should be no hidden cost. There should be fees and other charges all explained in the beginning to the parents. If they agree, they will get admitted their ward to your school, otherwise they find other schools. And I am ensuring that there will be more and more competitions, and fees will be lowered because of competition, not from government schools, but even by many private schools competing within.
So according to what you are saying, we should be prepared to send our children to the world-class government schools, as you say, in 3 years' time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. One last question before we wind up the interview, and that was 70 years down the line, when you look at the society, have we been really successful in creating a gender just society? For example, I'll just give you small examples. When a woman is walking on the road, there are people who say that a woman should not wear this, a woman should not talk to a male, a woman cannot work late night.
This is one area.
This is the mindset, and the adjective which is used for a woman is that she's a buri ladki.
So इसीलिए the real challenge in our society, changing the society itself. It's a changing of mindset which is the most difficult, and so gender sensitization will be a main part of our curriculum, and gender sensitization through practical things. I want to see girl students sitting in front and male students sitting at the back. That's also, see, there will be a girl student who will be monitor of the school class. Right from that level, when you inculcate.
Then again, Mr. Javadekar, she'll be labeled as a bully in the class.
No, but I like to tell you, after all, Prabodhan has to be done not of the girls, but of the boys. And therefore, parents' education will become important in now educational reforms, because it is the parents who create a mindset in the boys that how they look to the girls. And therefore, this gender sensitization is a very important aspect of our life, and which we lack, and therefore we must create that, and we have taken it up on priority.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Javadekar.
Yes, thank you.
So that's it on this episode of To The Point. See you next time with another personality. Goodbye and thanks for watching.